here for some strength flow. Hopefully you have plenty of space. We're going to be a bit of a lateral movement today. So yeah, we are on time and ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start down. I think most of you were here just a minute ago. But we're going to get down on all fours. We're going to work on that primal position really quickly. So we're on hands and knees. We're going to tuck those toes under, lift those knees up off the ground. So this is our primal position. We're going to work on bracing really quickly. So you're going to work to pull those abs in as tight as you can while simultaneously pushing those arms down into the ground. And think about pushing the ground under your feet away from you. And so we're trying to create as much tension in the body as possible right now. Holding on nice and strong. Should be very tense and relaxed. We're going to drop those knees down. Shake it out for just a second. We're going to go one more time, same thing. Tuck those toes, lift those knees. Pull those abs, push those arms down, push those feet away. Create that tension, hold them strong. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right. So we're going to get a little mobilization. Make sure all of our mics are muted, please. So in that primal position, knees are up off the ground. We're going to push those hips up into a down dog position. Then we're going to drop our hips down and back into that loaded beast position. And we're going to draw that left leg up and forward into that runner's lunge. All right, we're going to step that back into that primal. Bring those hips up, down dog. Drop those hips down into that loaded beast. This time we're going to drop that right leg forward into that runner's lunge. All right, we're going to do one more time, running through those. Primal, hips up, down dog. Drop those hips, loaded beast. Front step left. Back in that primal. Hips up, down dog. Hips down, loaded beast. Front step right side. Step back into primal. And relax. All right. Hang on 1 second. All right, Simon, we gotta meet you, my bud. All right. So we're gonna go back into down to the ground if you're still there. We're gonna push ourselves up into plank position. We're gonna do a little shoulder mobility here. So we're gonna do what we call shoulder or scapular push-ups. I don't even remember the name of it. So you're going to lower your chest down to the ground without bending your elbows. So think about mobilizing through those shoulders. Notice my elbows are still straight. And I'm going to push my chest away from the ground. All right, we can certainly do this from our knees as well. We're going to lower our chest down to the ground. Think about squeezing those shoulder blades together and pushing away. Notice that elbow does not bend at all. And push away. Let's go 2 more here. Dropping that chest down, pushing away. And then we're just trying to get space in those shoulders, pushing away, and relax. All right. So today we're going to start down on the ground. Our first flow is going to be a little bit more hip mobility stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get into our 90-90 position. So if you haven't been here before, you have one leg out in front, that knee is at 90 degrees. This back knee is at 90 degrees. Okay? What we're going to do from this position is we're going to drive those hips up and forward. So we're in kind of a double kneeling position. So my right knee is out in front, my left knee is back behind. Whatever leg is behind, you're going to pull that leg through into a kneeling position. All right, I'm going to press through this front foot into a stand. Ooh, very poor stand. And then other leg's going to come up into a single leg balance. All right. So notice my ankle is kind of pulled up. My toes are pulled up towards my knee. So we call it trigger foot. All right, so we're creating tension through the ankle in this position. Okay? Now we're just going to reverse this. We're going to push this knee back down into a kneeling position. I'm going to swing that ankle back out. My foot that's up now, drop that knee to the ankle. So now I'm in that extended hip position. I'm going to sit that down And we're back in that 90-90. All right, we're gonna do one more time on that side, keeping everything exactly where it is. We're gonna bridge those hips up into that hip extension. Back foot is gonna step through into that kneeling position. Stepping through that foot up into a stand. All right, remember to pull that foot up and reverse. All right, now we're gonna rotate. If you need to drop those hands down, you can, or if you want to try without those hands, go into 90-90 on the opposite side. All right, so we're gonna try the same thing on the other side. We're gonna bridge those hips up. All right, in this position, you feel a lot of tension through that glute, okay? Back foot comes around into that kneeling position, pushing through that front foot, pulling up into your balance. And then reverse. Boom. Boom. Sit down. Okay? Now slide over so it has a little bit more room. And we'll do that same thing again. Pushing those hips open. Should feel a nice stretch through those hips. Stepping through. Push and stand. Alright. Ooh. Don't go too quickly. Find that balance. Ease your way back down. Okay? So we're going to set about a minute, minute and a half on the timer. We're going to rotate through those. You're going to go at your own pace. Okay? So I want you to just do one on each side and transfer through the middle. So we just got down from that side. Then I'll immediately rotate over and go on this side. Alright? So we'll go ahead and start that timer. And then I want you to just flow through these positions best you can. Just working a little bit of hip mobility. Find that balance. All right, making sure we don't come out of that until we get that balance. And trying to ease through those, flowing as smoothly as possible. Trying to find control in each of these positions. All right. We'll go about 30 more seconds here. May travel a little bit as you go through. That's totally fine. And main goal here is just to be under control. Find out where your sticking points are. Find that balance. Make sure we pull those toes up. Trying to get you to use a lot of those muscles you don't normally use. Last 10 seconds here. I'm going to finish up nice and tall on this side. And we'll go ahead and finish up whatever side you're on. We'll go back to that 90-90 to start. And we will relax. Alright, first one. Nice and easy, right? Super simple. So next one is going to be a few more steps. We're going to stick with that kind of hip mobility aspect of it. A little bit more core control. So we're going to start standing on this one. We'll do this all together. Alright, so standing nice and tall. We're going to do one good deep squat as best you can manage. If it's only here, that's fine. Best squat you can manage, you're going to drop those hands to the floor and bring those hips up nice and high. Alright, from this position, I am going to step my feet back, and wherever my feet are, I'm going to put my knees over that position. So we're going to be in that primal position that we started with. Alright, way back in our warm-up. Then we're going to work to take 4 good steps forward into a bear crawl. Okay? Make sure they are tight. Don't try to step too far. It's going to be very small, short, controlled steps. Alright? Once you get your 4 steps, you're still in that primal position. Knees are still up, abs are still tight. We're going to do alternating shoulder taps. We're going to do 4 total shoulder taps. Alright, making sure those hips are working to resist that sway. Then we're going to bring those hips up into that down dog. Again, what we warmed up with. Then we're going to work to walk those hands to our feet into an inchworm. We're going to roll that all the way up. Alright, and that's going to be what our flow looks like. Alright, so again, going through a little more slowly. We're going to squat those hips down. Try to keep that chest up nice and tall. Hands are going to go down, hips are going to go up. Alright, from this position we're going to go just try to get from this position to a primal position. So I'm just going to set my feet back into that primal. All right, so now I'm ready for that bear crawl. 4 small steps forward. All right, making sure, again, that low back is going to be nice and balanced. If you had a glass of water on your low back, try not to spill anything. Once you get your 4 steps, we're doing 4 shoulder taps, 4 altogether. And again, we're trying not to get that body to sway at all. Bring those hips up, down dog. Then we're going to walk those hands in towards our feet. Like you're finishing up an inchworm. And roll up. Got it? All right. We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock. We're going to flow through this best you can. If you're having a lot of trouble on those shoulder taps, all right, if you're getting here, all right, I want you to think about spreading your feet out a little bit. So instead of here, try to get out here, so bigger base of support. You should have a little bit more to press into to fight that rotation as you come up from that 4 hand or that 4 position to a 3 position tap. Okay. This is 4 points of contact. This is 3 points of contact with the ground. So that's why your weight is shifting over. So really working to control that core stability and keep us from rotating around. All right. So we're going to put, again, 2 minutes on the clock. We're going to roll through that at your own pace. It is a squat. All right, hips go up into that primal. 4 good steps forward. 4 of those stable, non-shifting shoulder taps. And walking those hands back to those feet and roll it up. All right, I won't do any more call outs, but I want you to try to roll through this at a pace that you're comfortable with, one that you're promoting connectedness from each movement to the next movement. All right. Again, the point of this class is to work to flow together, and what that really means is just being coordinated in a way. Just trying to link these different movements together with as little interruption as possible, I suppose. So we're promoting that flexibility. That's usually going to be the limiting factor. So I want you to be very effortful on those crawls. Everything in that primal position requires a lot of tension, a lot of effort into keeping everything nice and balanced, nice and still. All right, we've got about 30 seconds left. Do the best you can here. Up. We'll go one last time through. From that glass of water on that low back on those bear crawls. And those shoulder taps is still there. Once you finish up, roll it on up and take a quick break. All right. We've got one more little flow to go through. So I'll give you a chance to recover. Check it out. Definitely a lot of my quads. All that primal crawl position. All right, so let's talk about this last one here. We're going to get to the very edge of our mat. I'm all the way on my right side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my right hand, my outermost hand. I'm going to reach that across towards the center of my mat. All right. I'm going to take my left hand, my innermost hand, reach it a little farther than that. Okay. All my weight is shifted to my hands. I'm just going to hop my feet from the right side of my mat to my left side of the mat. Set it up. All right. So this is a lateral gorilla shuffle. All right. Outside hand goes first. Inside hand a little bit farther out, and then hopping those feet. Okay. So I'll give you about a minute to practice this. This is what it's looking like, full speed. All right, or if you want to use your fists, you can do that as well. I'm just trying to stay light on those toes, light on those feet. All right, again, we're trying to flow this movement. We're staying very, very light, very little contact. Making sure that we're standing all the way up at the top, hinging down. Good, so you think about this, kind of like your deadlift. In fact, we're pushing our hips back first and reaching down. So you get a good hamstring stretch as you reach for the ground and hop over. All right? Again, that flow part comes from moving from one position to the other with as little interruption as possible. So sometimes you just have to go for it. Can't exactly do it. Slow. All right, so go ahead and relax. Kind of figure that out. We're going to add the second piece to that, which is going to be a curtsy squat sit. So I'm back on my right side of my mat. My inside leg, I'm going to slide that back behind. So my left leg, I'm going to slide behind my right leg into a curtsy squat. You guys have seen that before, right? What we're going to try to do is get this all the way to the ground to sit down, okay? If you don't quite have the mobility, I've got you. You want to try to get down as far as you can in that squat or to a kneeling position. All right, I'll also be happy with kneeling position. So standing up, you're pressing through that front foot as a modified single leg squat. And then we're hopping over to our other side of the mat and we're getting down on that side. All right, that's what we're shooting for. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 minutes on the clock, give us a little bit of time to stretch at the end. So we're gonna do 2 minutes on here, just trying to flow. That's the only two things you gotta worry about. It's that lateral shuffle and then that curtsy squat sit, okay? Well, let's go for it. You're gonna start with that shuffle and then working to get down as far as you can. And get back up. If you need to use those hands a little bit on that squat, you can, but I want to urge you to try to get it without those hands up and down. There we go. Nice and light on that shuffle. Being in control on those squats. A little pro tip, try to get your knee to the outside of that ankle. It's going to help give you that mobility to get down, okay? If you have a little bit more room, laterally this is a little bit easier. It's going to feel a little bit better flowing between those two. Boom. Just going back and forth. Take about another 30 seconds here. Told you you're going to get some hip mobility in here. Oh. This is a good one for the kids to try. And if you just need to take that to a knee, to a lunge, that's fine. Right, I want to meet you where you are. Meet yourself where you are. As long as we're staying moving, that's the goal. We're going to get one more time going back and forth here. So we finish to end the day. Boom. And last hop across. And done. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to drop it down. We're going to bring those soles of our feet together in a little butterfly stretch. So we're going to pull up on our toes, pressing down on our knees. Think about it, elongating that spine. Nice and tall, open up those hips a little bit. Hopefully you had fun, you tried something. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't, that's fine. We're here every week. Try new things. Try some of the old things that you like. Try some new things that you may like too. Go ahead and relax out of that. We're going to sit like crisscross applesauce, or bring that bottom foot up. So in that double pigeon. And we're just going to fold forward, get a little of that glute hip stretch I'm thinking about reaching that chest out forward. Hang out here for about 20, 30 seconds. So maybe you got that heart rate up a little bit, which is awesome. Get a little sweat, get a little movement later in the day. Hopefully you're wrapping up your work day. If not, if you're heading back to work, I hope this was a good little mental and physical break. Let's go ahead and relax out of that. We'll switch our feet. If you can't quite stack your feet, if you just need to rest that foot out in front, that's going to get you the same thing. Just a little bit less deep. So again, reach that chest out forward. We'll hang out here. This will be the end of it. And we'll roll it up out of that. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us this evening. We'll be back first thing in the morning with some morning mobility. If you like what you see, I'll be back on full body blast and abs tomorrow afternoon, 11:35. All right, have a great night. We'll see you next time.